Alright guys, so I've been getting a lot of messages about people asking me how I stream to Twitch, and they've been saying that they want to stream through OBS and using Elgato, or they want to stream some PC games, and it's not really easy to figure out how to stream because it takes a lot of researching to do, especially if you have an Elgato. You have to deal with stream delay. And if you're streaming on PC, you gotta see which preset is best for you because if you do stream through OBS, sometimes you'll get a little frame drop here and there. Not on the stream per se, but in game you'll get like a 10 frame decrease. This is what I usually get. Depends on what setting you pick though. So we're just gonna start with the basics right now because I just want to get you guys streaming. You know, nothing fancy at the moment. I do have like a couple stuff here, but if you guys are interested to see what kind of sources I have, what scenes I have, I'll go through that in another video. So let's just open settings real quick. I'm using, first of all, if you want to stream with a capture card, I have the Elgato, which you can use to stream with PS4, Wii U, and Xbox One. I think it also works with the old consoles too, like 360, PS3, and whatever. Um, and I'm not sure if it actually works with the 3DS, if you have a 3DS that you can record with. I know some people stream some 3DS games, but I have an Elgato, and if you have an Elgato, you're gonna get some natural screen delay, which is easily fixed by adding a delay to your own microphone. But if you have like an AverMedia or any other capture card, I'm not sure what other capture cards are there because I only know about the Elgato and the AverMedia. But the AverMedia doesn't have any stream delay, so you don't have to worry about delaying your microphone. But we'll get into that later. So if you want to stream just in general, I'll show you my settings. So we have a profile here. I usually make a profile for everything I'm going to be doing. This is local recording, so I don't use these to stream because the bitrate is way too high. I don't think your viewers will be able to watch. So we'll just stick to the streaming profile. So if you want to make a new profile, just type in the name like that, and then click on add, and then we'll go to encoding. So this is where your internet connection comes into play, because depending on how fast your download and upload is it's going to be affecting your max bitrate. Now I have Verizon FiOS, so I have 100 megabytes up and down, and I can pretty much set this to whatever I want. But I think the maximum on Twitch is 3500, and I think anything after that is pretty much wasting your bandwidth. So if you want to look right here, you can copy my settings. This has been working for me for a good 2 years now, a year and a half. You want to pick encoding X264. You want to use CBR, which is constant bitrate, CBR padding, buffer size. So I usually stay around 2500. Sometimes it goes a little over and under. I don't even know why it does that, but sometimes I hit 3000 when I'm streaming. I don't know. I don't know why, but for me, I would say minimum would probably want to be around 2000, maybe 1750, because anything under that it'll look really blurry, and I mean you'll get pixelation if you're playing a high movement game such as like Battlefield or Halo or Counter Strike. But for me, I'm not a partner yet, so 2500 is pretty standard. If you are a partner, you can crank this up all the way to the maximum at 3500 if you want, because on Twitch, if you are a partner, you have a quality option under your video player. You'll notice on some other big streamers they have like a source quality and then high, low, and medium. If you're not a partner, you don't have that option, so you're going to be streaming at your maximum bitrate. So be mindful of setting your max bitrate to 3500, because if your viewers can't watch your stream, they are probably not going to want to stay. So at least for me, 2500 seems to be a good decent amount of bitrate for good quality. I would love to bump it up to 3500, but some people say that it buffers too much for them, so a little less bitrate for to help your viewers out to watch your stream always goes a long way. So audio encoding, I like to stay at AAC. This is my personal preference because I use Sony Vegas right here to record, to like edit stuff, and I'm used to Sony Vegas. But if you want to use MP3, I guess you can go ahead. But this is what I use. I have AAC for 44.1. I got 128 bit rate and channel stereo. I don't know why you would want to use mono, to be honest. All right, so this is the broadcast settings. This is your cream of the crop right here. You want to switch it to live stream because you'll be live streaming. File output is for local recording and what have you. Streaming service, you're obviously gonna want to pick Twitch. I don't think I've any. I haven't heard about like most of these. I've heard of Daily Motion. I've heard of YouTube, Hitbox. I haven't heard of like GoodGame.ru and Vaughn Live. So yeah. Anyways, so this here is your server settings. You want to pick the closest setting to where you live. Now, obviously, I live in New York on the East Coast, so I'm going to be picking New York. Occasionally, sometimes Twitch goes down, and you'll get an error saying, "Oh, you failed to log in," because you're already logged in. If you get that error, you can always just switch it to another server, and then stream on that for a day, and then switch it back the next day when you start streaming again. But if you're in Europe, pick the closest server to you. Unfortunately, there's only one server in the West Coast, and it's in Los Angeles. And for Central America, all you have is Dallas. I mean, East Coast has a lot of servers. Well, 3 is not so bad, but luckily there's a server right in my own state. And if you're in Asia, well, good luck. Oh, there's a San Francisco. Never mind. Anyways, so stream key. This is where you want to put your stream key. I will show you how to get it right now. I actually have it up and running on my. I actually had to close this because I need to turn this off. That's the problem. Always on top. All right, so you want to go to your dashboard. This is my Twitch dashboard here. This is where you control the title of your broadcast. You can change the game. I can put. Let's see. Let's put. What game is coming out soon? Let's put The Witcher. If you type that in, a shitload of stuff will come up. You just click on it, click update, and it'll update your broadcast. You can also see, viewer list, Nightbot, whatever. And here is where you wanna mute your stream here, because if you don't, this little tab here is called desktop audio. If you don't mute your own stream, and you have this up for to see chat, you're gonna be having an echo. So I would highly advise you of muting your own stream. You might also want to pause your own stream unless you want to see like how good your quality is. I noticed that when I pause my own stream, I usually get a couple frame rates saved. But anyways, we're trying to find our Steam key. So you want to log into your Twitch profile. You can just click here if you want. Click on dashboard, and then you want to click all the way to stream key. And then when you go here, it'll say anyone can use this key to broadcast your channel. Twitch staff and admins will never ask you for this information. So you just click on show key, and you will get your key. Now once you get your key, you can just highlight, copy, paste, do what you gotta do, and you go to settings, and here, and just copy and paste into this. Now next setting here, we got auto reconnect. I usually have this on. It's on by default. Usually whenever Twitch is having problems, it will try its best to auto connect to the server. Default is 10. Don't really have much to say about that. Delay, I think this is to add delay to your stream. So like if you're streaming a MLG match of like Call of Duty or Halo, or if you're streaming an ESEA match on CSGO, if you want to add delay and you're not a partner, you can add delay here. I think that's what it is, to be honest. I know if you're a partner on Twitch, you can add delay on your own, so you don't have to worry about that. Minimize network impact. I don't really use this because I actually don't know what the hell it does. But I guess this helps. I did some research, and apparently it does help if you're dropping frames on stream. But I mean, if at this point you're having, if your upload and download isn't good enough to stream at a decent bit rate, you might want to look to upgrading your internet. Just a thought. Anyways, here is another option that's completely optional. I think this is off by default. It's called automatic save stream to file. I like to have my streams archived, so I'll show you right here. If you go to, I can't put it on my second monitor. Save streams. Every time you stream, it will save to this folder. And now you can make your own folder, obviously, but every time you stream, it'll save a copy to a folder on any of the hard drives you pick. So if you want to make highlights, what have you, definitely pick this option. It also helps too if your stream goes down and you know something happens like a hilarious moment and you want to have it saved to your local hard drive. Why not? It also makes making highlights a lot easier because I think this saves MP4s, and I think if you download the VODs, like if you go to, let's see, video manager. If you go to your video manager page and you get your past broadcasts, like right here, it shows all my past broadcasts. When you download it through like an external website, I think you can like use, you can like Google how to download a Twitch video, but I think it saves that in FLVs, which is Flash videos, and those don't really work so well on editing programs, at least from what I've tried to work with. But MP4s and AVIs are a lot better. So let's move on to the next point. So here you want to pick your video adapter. It's probably going to be your graphics card if you have one on your PC. If you don't have a graphics card, I guess I'll default to your integrated if your computer has one. But you definitely want to pick, your graphics card. Custom is going to be your resolution on your monitor. My monitor is 1080p, so going any higher, it'll just stretch the image of the game you're going to be recording. Aspect ratio, I think it's automatic. So monitor, I don't really mess with. I mean, if you want to record a monitor like I am right now, you can always use. I'm using Shadowplay, but OBS has a monitor capture software like you can see from here. And then here, resolution downscale. So if you're streaming locally, or not locally, if you're recording locally, you're going to want to pick 1080p if you want 1080p video. But since you're going to be streaming, you want to switch it to 720p. Now here, it's I'm not really sure what these settings have to do with the overall quality of the stream. I haven't tested it myself, but I'm going to go ahead and assume that best detail 36 samples is going to be the best looking filter for your stream. Here's a big difference in how well your computer will perform if you're streaming PC games. If I stream at 30 FPS, I usually don't get any FPS drops in game. It's probably like 1 or 2. If I bump this up to 60 and I stream, I'll probably get a 5 to 10 FPS difference. Now this basically has to do with how well your CPU is. If you get no frame drops, then that means your CPU is fine. But it's also affected by a preset we'll see later. But I mean, you can stream at 60 FPS. Even if you're a non-subscribed sub or a partnered sub, I think that's how it works. I'm pretty sure you can stream at 60 without having a partnership. But I mean, if you're playing a game on like the Xbox or if you're playing on the PS4, you probably want to bump this to a 30. I don't know too many games on the consoles that have 60 FPS, but there you go. If you're streaming on PC and if you can handle 60 FPS, go right ahead. No one's stopping you. No, don't apply. So here's where you're gonna want to change your settings. So this is audio. This right here is also your audio. So if you can mute it and whatnot. Desktop audio for me is always gonna be default. You can pick whatever you want. I usually leave it at default, and OBS handles it accordingly. For your microphone, you're gonna want to pick a microphone. I'm using my Astros. I also have a blue Snowball that I used to record, and just pretty standard stuff. Pick the device you want to use, and OBS will handle it. Now this is where if you're streaming on console and you have an Elgato, you are going to want to add mic sync offset. This adds delay to your own microphone because if you didn't know, the Elgato has a delay when streaming, and to compensate you have to delay your own mic or you'll be pretty much talking into the future, and no one likes that. No one likes to hear your reaction when you die, and it pretty much kills the whole mood. But standard for me, I tried staying around 1500, and I noticed for me that 1500 still wasn't enough, so I just kept bumping it up and I kept just bumping up the delay until it synced properly with my gameplay. So for me, 1750 is my sweet spot. This will vary. I don't know what I don't know what changes or how lower delay is affected. Maybe a better CPU. Maybe I don't know. Maybe it's how fast your USB is. Maybe you have a 3.0. Who knows? But for me, 1750 is a sweet spot, and this pretty much mostly applies to Elgatos. If you're streaming on a PC, like a PC game like CS:GO or League of Legends, you want to have this to 0 because there's pretty much no delay when you're streaming a PC game. So here we have hotkeys, pretty standard. You know what hotkeys are? Button commands. You can turn on push to talk, mute your mic, mute your desktop. Desktop usually means like the game audio. There's also if you play music during your stream, if you're playing through a browser or iTunes, it'll also mute it if you turn off your desktop audio. And then here's the most important parts: start stream, start recording, stop recording. I noticed that whichever one I like hotkey, it pretty much does the same thing. So you want to make it a universal, easy to access button. I like to have it on number pad, so I have number pad multiply to start and stop. I mean, you can make it any combination you want, so it's totally up to you. Start replay buffer. I've never messed with these, and I don't plan to. Now we go to advanced settings. If your PC has multi-threading, your CPU, put that bastard on. Process priority class. This affects your task manager priority. So if you go to here, and if you notice, if you right click and go to it's not properties, crap. If you right click and go to set priority, you can set it between above, normal, high, real time, etc. It pretty much confirms to your computer whether to allocate more memory and make it a higher priority for your CPU to use. Normal is gonna be pretty much standard. You don't want to go probably above normal. You'll start seeing a lot of frame drops in your games. I've tried this before, so if you're thinking of going above normal, just be cautious. You might get some frame drops. Scene buffering time. I think this has to do with changing scenes. I'm not entirely sure because this has been 400 for since I downloaded and installed this software. So pretty standard stuff. Most of the stuff here is pretty standard. I don't like to mess around with these. I mean, the default's pretty good. So allow other modifiers on hotkeys. As I said, on again by default. Disable encoding. Not too worried about that. So here is where you wanna make sure that your CPU can handle it. So as I said, if you're streaming at 30 or 60 FPS, you're gonna wanna change this setting. If you're getting really bad lag on in game, or you're getting like a massive frame drop, you might want to try bumping this up. So default is very fast, and what's different is the lower you go, the better the quality the stream's gonna be, but the more demanding your CPU is gonna be used. So if you're trying to stream like Battlefield or not Counter Strike, but like high demand games, you're gonna want to turn this bad boy up just so you don't get frame drops. I have mine on super fast because whenever I stream Grand Theft Auto, I like to have it above 70 FPS, maybe 60. If I leave it on very fast, it hovers around 55, 60. So that little oomph definitely helps you have a little bit smoother gameplay. So I mean, if you want to stay at the very fast, so it's totally up to you. But if you want a bit more FPS, you can bump this up to super fast or ultra fast. Totally up to you. Encoding profile is going to be main. I mainly use high for local recording, so you can turn that on if you want. Keyframe intervals are pretty standard. CFR, I forget what this stands for. Does it say if I just hover over it? No. Constant frame rate? I think that's what it is. That might be what that might be what it is. Now, I think constant frame rate is mostly for local recording, but it might help also for streaming purposes if you want to stay around 30 or 60 for your stream. So it doesn't look like you're getting FPS drops. Totally up to you. Other than that, everything else here is pretty standard. All of this is off by default. Like CRF is going to be for local recording, so you're not going to worry about that. Allow 61 through 120 FPS. Not really worried about that either. Force desktop audio. This pretty much delays your whole stream audio all at once. And this is all network stuff. So other than that, that is the standard OBS settings I have. All these are all of this is plugins, by the way. All this stuff. I use this for scene switching and whatnot, and having custom alerts. So if you want my settings again, here they are. For anyone wondering what settings you want to be streaming at. As I said, it'll vary depending on how fast your internet is. But how about we go on to the actual streaming itself. So let's make this a little bigger. So bottom here we have scenes. Now the reason I have numbers to the right of them is because I have them hotkeyed. So if I have them hotkeyed and we preview the stream like this, oh, you know what? Actually, let me turn off Elgato, and we'll just turn on like the overlay. So I have my overlay here. So I'm on streaming scene 1. If I switch to starting soon, it'll switch to this one. If I switch to changing games, it'll switch to this screen. Be right back. And recording is my local recording, so you don't have to worry about that. So if you want to switch scenes, you can always right-click instead of hotkey. This makes it a lot easier for you to do it. The scene switch is a global hotkey, so you don't have to actively be clicking on OBS. Like, you don't have to have OBS be your main screen. You know, if you're playing a game and you have to go take a break or something, just switch to your BRB, and there you go. Other than that, you have sources here. A lot of these are going to be your main uses for streaming. I have a lot of sources that I use for games, and the only way for you to actually make a source is to click on global sources. So if you click add, you can pick which type of source you want to add. I mainly use game capture because it gives you the least amount of FPS drops and performance issues. However, some games do not play well with game capture. I think Binding of Isaac does that. I don't know what other games do it actually, but I know there's a couple games out there that they don't behave too well with game capture. It actually causes crashing. So if you have that problem, you want to pick window capture. So no, let me actually sign on to Steam so I can show you how it works. And I'll show you how to get like Binding of Isaac on. Let's do that. So as I said, you want to have a global source. So if you want to find the game you want to capture on your screen, click on add game capture, type in whatever, click OK, and then from here, this is where the application is going to show up. So if you're trying to stream a game, click on this. It should show up on the window here. Pick the source of the game. It'll say like Binding of Isaac or Battlefield, what have you. Other than that, stretch image to screen. Don't really use this. Capture mouse cursor. This could be useful if you're playing a game like Five Nights at Freddy's, where you want your audience to see your mouse and whatnot. Inverted cursor on click. Don't really use that. Anti-cheat. Don't use that. And enable alpha blending. Do not use that either. So why can I not sign on to Steam? Oh, it's updating. Fucking Steam. Why are you updating? Just come on. So anyways, once you have your global source, you want to where's my Steam? Oh my god, still not loaded. So as you can see here, I have a ton of sources, and Steam loaded. There you go. So let's start up Binding of Isaac, and I'll show you guys what to do. So let's start this bad boy. Hopefully you can see it double here. It'll show Binding of Isaac in the window and on this. Come on, Isaac. Was there an update for you? There might have been an update for Isaac. Oh, Lord, Steam, please. There you go. Okay. So we have Steam here. And we have Binding of Isaac. So what you want to do is, you have your sources. You have a scene. Create a scene like so. Name it whatever you want. And then once you go to sources, right click, add global source, and the game that you made an application for. So I'll make a new one here. I'll just delete Binding of Isaac. I can always remake it. So you want to click on add game capture, call it Binding of Isaac. Click enter, and as you can see here, Isaac shows up under application. Click on that. Click OK. Click OK. And you want to go to here. Global source, Binding of Isaac, click OK, and there you go. Shows up. Now the reason it's like this is because you have to, I think you have to change the Fit to screen? No, it's not fit to screen. I always forget. It's because I have I'm streaming at 1080. I don't know. We won't deal with that for now. You can always resize. Yeah, I'm streaming at 1080. My default resolution. I'm downscaling to 720. So if your game is played in 720, you're gonna have to scale this a little. So if you want to scale it, actually, I'll show you right now. Click on Edit Scene, and you'll notice that there's red bars right here. Now you can do this and do whatever. Resize the screen. There's a couple of modifiers that you can do that require you to press a couple buttons. If you press Shift, you can resize it however you like. You notice if you don't press Shift, it maintains aspect ratio like this. But if you hold Shift while resizing, you can resize it however you want. Now you notice that there's a snap feature, like you can see right here. Snaps to the corner like that. If you want to remove snapping when editing a scene, you want to hold Control. So if you hold Control, see how it snaps? If you hold Control, it doesn't snap anymore. You can move it however you want, like so. So remember those. Shift removes aspect ratio, so you can change it however you want. And Control lets you snap. It disables snapping. So actually, I think one thing we can do is this. Stretch image to screen. And then order this to fit the screen. There you go. So that's one use of using stretch fill. Stretch image to screen. If you're streaming at 1080p and then you downscale to 720, you gotta stretch it so it fills up the whole screen. So that's pretty much it. I mean, that's the basic gist of streaming on OBS. If you guys are interested to see what else I have a lot of stuff here, sources and whatnot. You also have overlays, and if you want to have the overlay actually show, you gotta put the game under, like so. Yeah, if you have any questions, let me know. I'll post my Twitter on the description. I'll even post the link to OBS in the description if you want to download it yourself. And if you have any questions, I'm always streaming at twitch.tv/LazysGames. You can always ask me questions live. I'll try to get to you. I can't promise I'll see your question, but I'll try my best. But if you want to, message me outside of Twitch or YouTube, you can always hit up my Twitter, send me a direct message, send me a message on YouTube. I actually don't recommend sending me a message on YouTube because it's actually a lot harder to actually see messages on YouTube because the notification system is not that great. But I prefer Twitter and Facebook, but I'll plop my Twitter down in the description. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope it helped you to somehow start your streaming career. I know when I first started streaming, I had a lot of questions I had to research myself. But if I could provide a video so you don't have to look anywhere else, without having to scour all of Google to figure out how to stream, because streaming is, once you get down the routine of what you have to set up, and the sources and the scene switching, once you have all that, streaming is as simple as pressing one button. And yeah, if you have any questions, as I said, hit me up on my social media. I'll try and answer them. And if you have any other questions regarding settings, I'll post the settings in the description too. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you guys later, and happy streaming.